Yeah.
But my husband, if I give him more than one thing, forget it.
It's because he's stuck on that first
One
one.
item. That's right.
We can. That's what my husband does.
Yes.
I can tell him all
Yes.
kinds of things, but his mind is back here solving this
That's
problem.
right.
Well, it's Just Us Girls time again, and as usual, I'm surrounded with the girls of A Better Us. I have Danielle and Diane and Kara, and we are all here again talking about what we need to be talking about, and that's communicating with our husbands in the best possible way and how to give him feedback when we know we need to give him feedback. We know there's something that's happening. We need to talk about it. But how do we do it so that he actually receives it well?
Right.
It's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, when they mentioned tone, I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
That's where I always, I don't beat around the bush. I just get straight to the point.
Right.
And sometimes my tone comes off as if I'm trying to be mean, and I'm really not. I'm just trying to speak my truth and get it out and be done with it.
Right.
And my husband's like, you could say that a little nicer, or you need to watch your tone. And I'm like, but I just kind of, and I have to catch myself, right? Because I'm like, he's right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't hear it when I'm saying it, but after he says it, I'm like, oh yeah, maybe I do need to watch my tone with that, right?
Ron and I have that hand signal we've talked about before, where it's just kind of like, and sometimes I'll be talking and he'll just kind of he'll do this and I'm saying, wait, what?
Sign language.
Is this a time for that right now? Because I know how we use this, and I don't think, but it could be that it's just my tone.
Yeah, my husband does that as well. Yeah, because he says, you know, just the delivery is everything.
Yes.
And I'm like, you're so right. That is so important. And the other thing that hit me was the fact that we're on the same team.
Yeah.
Like, we're on the same team. If I'm tearing him down, I'm tearing myself down.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm building him up, I'm building myself up. So it's important that we remember and realize that we're on the same team, and our job is to build each other up.
That's good.
And that was the trust aspect. There was a whole bunch of T's they were talking about. And if we're beginning from a place where if I'm already speaking life and words of love, then there's a safe place, a safe line of communication, then he's going to be more willing to receive it. And I was also thinking, man, it's all about just making sure that you pick and choose your battles. Because so my husband is going to hear me more loud and clear if I'm not always at him, if I'm, really making sure that the feedback I give him is what I really want to give him so that he receives it. And I know, I tell you, there's so many times, my husband is a professional musician and he's often on stage, and then he'll come down and ask for feedback sometimes. And I'm gonna harken back to another one of our episodes. We talked about our next day rule. Sometimes if something's gone wrong, that he doesn't realize, I will do my best. I don't want to ruin the moment, especially if he has to go back up on stage. I'm going to be careful to make sure I don't deflate him and give him feedback that would be negative and put him in a bad headspace. So we have to be careful about the timing, which they talked about, another T. And so those are two things that I've thought about for sure.
Good.
Yeah.
And I thought about the timing and the turf, like where and when, and in front of your friends and in front of your family probably is not the right where and when, especially because you're building that trust. And in a space of trust, you need sometimes privacy. And so you don't want to open the door to your friends or your family to be able to speak into something that might not be any of their business. But if you have those crucial conversations in front of people that you shouldn't be having, then you can be opening up doors for offense from your family to your spouse, or vice versa. You could be opening up a doorway for them to also comment into it, and you don't want to.
That's right.
Also in front of your children, I think you can create these narratives that you might not want it to create, and now you have to backtrack to get things back on track. And so turf and time, I think, are definitely important in protecting your spouse and your marriage and your trust.
That's good.
And also just our state of being. Are we hangry? Are we really, you know, in a state? We do intermittent fasting at our house. So there's times in the morning that if my husband has not eaten yet, he's like, don't bring this stuff to me now. Or, you know, sometimes at night, if we're just trying to shut down and we don't need to deal with certain things,
I agree.
we need to pick and choose, you know, the state that we're in and make sure that we're in a place that our spouse can receive it well.
And even trying to identify what space he's in, what headspace he's in, because there'll be sometimes Ron's on his laptop because we work from home, we work together. He's sitting on his laptop working away, and I can start talking to him and tell him something, and he can nod his head. He'll even agree with me. Yeah, and he's not hearing a word I'm saying. Not a word. And so I've learned that I have to first of all, I can't get upset because I have to know that he's got a way of doing things. This is the way he does it. He's in a box. He's deep in that box, and I love him for it because he takes care of things in that box that I need him to take care of. But if I need to talk to him about something, I have to say, honey, can you tell me when it's a good time to talk to you because I want to mention something to you? And he'll know, and I'll just wait. Or I'll say, is now a good time because there's something I want to share with you. And so both of those, he knows that, okay, I got to come out of the box because there's something that she wants to talk to me about. And that's important. And also our tone. Like if it's something really serious that we know we need to talk to them about, and it's something that bugs us, and there's just, we've been waiting and we've got to talk about it. There's a verse in Proverbs that I just love, and I wrote it down in the Amplified Bible. It's a soft word turns away wrath. But in the Amplified Bible, a soft and gentle and thoughtful answer turns away wrath, but harsh and painful and careless words stir up anger. So we have a choice to make. Are we going to be thoughtful and gentle with our words? Or are we going to be careless and harsh? Because we are going to definitely get that response either way that goes with that. And so it's important to know where his headspace is and where our headspace is before we bring these things up.
I agree.
Yeah, as you were saying that, I was thinking, I heard Dan in my mind of, you know, what would he say? And actually, I can think of times when I just come at him with a list of things that this, and it's like, whoa. So maybe like one thing at a time here, because I know I wouldn't want all that thrown at me at once too, but you know, so we just have to think about the volume that we are.
That's true.
We are giving them.
And remember, this issue, whatever it is that you want to talk about, is just that. It's an issue. It's not your us. It's something that you don't put between you and you got to talk about. It's something that you put on the table over there. Say, honey, can we talk about that? Because this is really important. We need to talk about that. So, you know, how you approach that too. It's not something that you're going to allow to come between you when you bring it up, but it's just always going to be separate from the two of you.
And you talked about the list. I know in one of our previous shows, it was Pam and her husband,
Bill.
They talked about the list and how men give them one thing at a time because they can't process. You can throw everything at me.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to departmentalize everything, got it. But my husband, if I give him more than one thing, forget it.
It's because he's stuck on that first
item. That's right.
We can. That's what my husband does. I can tell him all kinds of things, but his mind is back here solving this problem.
That's right.
He doesn't hear all the. He's nodding his head while I'm saying all the other stuff, but his mind
solve that.
exactly.
And when you bring him something, make sure it's from you. And not that you've talked to your girlfriends about it and got all their opinions about it, and now you're bringing their opinions in like it was your opinion. And so when you address something, make sure your heart's right and that it's actually from you and not from like a third party.
That's good.
Really good. This is good stuff. This is really good. I think we need to do this again. Well, there is more of Better Us to come, so stay right where you are.